Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy New Year. It's 2024. We have a full year in front of us. We have new beginnings, fresh starts. We're all coming off of the holidays and whatever the season was for you, it's okay, right? Maybe you ran really hard in your life and your business. Awesome. Maybe you didn't. Oftentimes, what we see as leaders, those of us that have been doing this a few years, what happens is we start meeting with our team about this time of year and we hear the same things. We hear, I need to get plugged back in. I need to figure out what to do next. I don't know, and listen, that is your brain playing tricks on you because have you been taking your products every month? Yes. Have you probably been posting a little bit on social media? Yes. Are you plugged into your business? Yes. Do you know who's taking products? Yes. Do you still have the list you have? Yes. So don't fall. First, I want to say don't fall for the lie. Yeah, y'all know I have the old dog. He's asking me to let in. Don't fall for the lie that you are out of your business. First and foremost, here, say it out loud. I have been in my business the whole time. I've been in my business the whole time. You are not unplugged. You are not a mechanical device. You are a human that probably has thought about your business 100 gazillion times. You're in your business. Okay. So first of all and foremost, we're taking that ground back. My name is Shanna. If you don't know me, I am a 3-star elite in 3. I've been in network marketing about 6 years. I'm not going to go into my story. The leaders are not going to go into their story today. And that is a gift to you. We're going to tell you in the shortest amount of time what you need to do in each of these categories. We're going to give you a fully equipped toolbox. If you are somebody that says, I love connecting with people in person, you are going to be so equipped today. If you say, I am working full time, I have the tiniest margins, but I still want to build this and I don't want to meet with anybody in person. Guess what? Your toolbox is going to leave here full. Everybody hear me? Your toolbox is leaving here full. You're going to have an array of things put in front of you with the best of our team coming in front of you and saying, here's the best way to use this tool. Here's how I think about this tool. Here's how I close with this tool. Y'all with me? Okay. So first and foremost, let's start with, we need to know what our goals are. Okay. So again, you're getting the Cliff Notes version, high level. What do you need to know about goals? We need to get some right thinking about it. But first and foremost, you want to have, you don't need to, and you don't should. Hear my language on this. Do you need a goal? No, you won't die without one. But do I think that you'll really reach your potential without having a goal? No. I use this phrase all the time. If I say, I'm going to the store, what do you want? And Jamie says, I want ice cream. And Bonnie says, I want a Snickers bar. And Mindy says, I don't know. I'm going to come back and she's going to get ice cream. She's going to get a Snickers bar. Mindy's going to get nothing because she didn't know. You've got to know right now what you're working towards. And listen, it's not a rank. It is a rank, but it's what the rank gets you. Get the motions involved, right? We'll kind of circle back to this, but right now on your piece of paper, number 1, what is my 30, 60, 90-day goal? Do you have bigger goals than that? Yes, but let's put some mile markers on because 30 days in, we want to know where you're at. 60 days in, you want to know where you're at. 90 days in, you want to know where you're at. So that's where we're going to lay our foundation. I want you to think about goals a little bit differently because a lot of your goals are going to be lined up with your belief system. Okay. I am going to talk a little bit out of this book, Atomic Habits. If you haven't read it, this is really helpful. I'm going to teach you some principles out of it today. But number 1 is who are you, right? So if you say, I'm using the example of, if you say, I want to be consistent in my business. Who has told themselves that in the last week? I need to be consistent in my business. That without a definition means nothing. Okay. So I'm going to use an example of this. If I say, I need to work out. Okay. As somebody who works out 5 days a week, they never think that. You know what they think? I work out. This is what I do. So your goals, what we're going to talk about today is going a little bit deeper, right? You have the first level, which is the goal. And then we're going to talk about some of the systems that need to support that goal. And then we're going to go into the identity, which is the real secret sauce to meeting your goals. So I'm coming at you like fast and furious. So the goals are about the results that you want. The systems are about the processes that lead you to those results. And if you follow systems, it takes care of yourself. At the very end of today, we're going to give you a challenge and you're going to pick the time frame based on your goals. Okay. And so then when you say, this is what I want to accomplish, you'll work backwards and you'll say, okay, well, what would this look like on a daily basis? What would this look like on a weekly basis? And what would this look like, in identity? Who am I? Who would I have to be? And so we're gonna hang out there and just here in just a second. I want to give you some time. I'm watching my time, guys. So I want you to take a minute. You got pen and paper? 90-day goals. I want you to, as soon as you have them, drop them in the chat. You don't even have to share them here, but share in the chat that you have your 30, 60, 90-day goals. We're doing this right now. You're not going to do this later. This isn't homework. Right now, 30, 60, 90-day goals. I'd love to see some in the chat. Okay. Chase has got an outcome, 20 new brand ambassadors. Lindy's got 90-day, 40 new team members. Okay. These are great. 5 new. She's tracking on her team what's coming out of it. And at least 10,000 in pay in the next 90 days. Awesome. Nobody's comparing. Okay. Nobody's comparing. That you're going to hear you're going to hear people's big goals. And listen, it matches. This is like quicksand number 1. One of the things that I want to do today in every part of this is I want you to have like a little side note. Where am I going to run into obstacles? Right? So even on this very first level, comparison to other people that shuts me down. Okay, that's an obstacle. Like we're solving for all of that on the front end. Okay. If you can stay out of quicksand, if you can see it as quicksand up ahead, right? Okay. So start there. We've got your goals, whatever they are. Number 2, I want you to take a few minutes and I want you to think about the habits that get you those outcomes, right? So, okay. So like, let's take an example. Somebody said a quantity number of team members. Okay. That's math. This is easy. Now, y'all know for every 10 people that you ask to take a look, about 3 actually will, and about 1 will become a brand partner. Okay. So if I'm scrolling back to somebody who said, let's say you want 10 new team members, you understand you need to have, you want to have 100 asks. Okay. So what's an obstacle that's going to come for that you need to solve for it? Do you like it when people ignore your messages and they ghost you, or does it shut you down? Ooh, I see some people looking up at me. Okay. Okay. Listen, if you know the statistics ahead of time, and if you're brand new, oh my gosh, you're probably thinking that you are drinking off of a fire hose today. You're welcome. Just grab what sticks, and this is going to be recorded. It's going to be there, and you have amazing support to plug into, right? But if you know, that's quicksand for you, right? Okay, so 70 people are going to either tell you no or ignore you. What do you have to, so now, okay, do you see how we're unpacking what am I doing and to get those results? What am I not doing now to get those results? What have I avoided doing? A good question to ask yourself. What have I actively avoided doing? What has been on your list that has moved? This is not to condemn you. This is not to say you're behind. This is the most valuable part of your business when you can identify something that you're avoiding because you just were given on a platter some wrong beliefs. And these beliefs are the things that are going to stand between who you want to become and the results that you're wanting to get. Does that make sense? Like in Atomic Habits, I love how he uses the example of if somebody is quitting smoking and I offer you a cigarette and you say, no, I'm quitting. You've identified yourself as a smoker who's struggling with quitting. If I say, hey, here's a cigarette, and you say, oh, no, I'm not a smoker. Like feel the different power of that identity, right? So what we're wanting to do, and again, you're gonna see us talk, get yourself into masterminds. We will drop those schedules, but masterminds we have those three or four a week. You'll want to get in there, and this is where you bring the drama that comes up around the things. And y'all, this is you came here because you think you need strategy. You think you need skills and strategy. Okay. How many times have you heard from the leaders in network marketing that they say, and I'm going to say business in general, 80% of it's mindset. This is what I'm talking about. So if you're not going to take a look at the things that keep coming up on why you're not reaching out, I'll use a perfect example. I don't want to reach out because I'm going to feel salesy. That is a belief thing, right? Does Lindy Turner ever feel salesy? No, she doesn't, right? And so can like the fact that somebody else thinks differently than you is proof that it's available to you to think differently as well. Is this good? Is this helpful? Is this laying the groundwork that we need? Okay. Awesome. So we wrote down the outcomes, some outcomes for your 90-day goals. And number 2, what are some habits and systems that you'll need to change to be the kind of person who is doing that, right? Like think of the you who is making, if your goal is 5,000 a month or 10,000 a month, or even 20,000 a month, you've got to get real with yourself, because the habits, these daily habits, are where the magic is. You will overestimate what you can do in the next 90 days. You will underestimate what you can do with the tiniest habit changes long-term. That's what you're looking. You are not looking to say, oh my gosh, I'm going to wake up 2 hours early. I'm going to start working out. I'm going to call 100 people a day. You may need to start with like one person a week and be real, right? Like you've got to, part of this is when we get to number 3, the identity. When you think about the person who gets up early, who makes those calls, what is she thinking? Because she's not thinking, I'm afraid of being salesy. You know where she's sitting? She's like, I know how I'm helping people. Like I can guarantee you, Jamie on here constantly thinks like, I've literally helped so many people like radically change their health. Oh my gosh, there are literally people that their worlds are going to change as soon as they are, they learn about what I have. She's not thinking I'm worried about being salesy. She doesn't care. The 80, 70 ghosts and no's she's going to get, she's ready for. You know why? Because she has confidence in what she's getting to those 30. Okay, good. So identity, this is again, I'm going to say, I'm going to quit talking. I want to give you a couple minutes to literally picture the you that is doing the things that you want to accomplish. What is she doing differently than you? What are those actions? And then go a little deeper. What is she thinking? What is the you that's making whatever X amount of dollars a month? What is she thinking about who she or he is? You're welcome, John. Sorry. Okay, I see some people starting to look up. We're gonna keep moving. Next, I want to spend a little bit more time on some systems. When you are doing this, and again, hop in a mastermind, flesh this out with a leader, let them literally, if you are like, I need somebody to hand this to me even more broken down, get on a mastermind. But one of the things, the next step is you're going to say, I will do what, at what time, where. I will make my list of 10 today at 5 p.m. sitting on my couch or at my desk or solving for those problems ahead of time keeps you out of funky territory. Okay. Everything that you say you're going to do, those components you want to have there. All it is we're just solving for problems. Instead of saying, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm going to do during this time, so let me go start a load of laundry since I don't know what I was going to do anyway. No. Decide what you're going to do. Not when you're going to work. What are you going to do? When are you going to schedule it? Where are you going to do it? Okay. Because I see a lot of, oh, I scheduled my work hours. You best know what you want to do in those work hours, or you're going to have avoidance behaviors. Any bit of confusion is going to send you spinning, and you're going to avoid. It's called buffering. And all of a sudden you're going to say, you know what? If my desk were clean, it would be so much easier for me to reach out to all these people. Called you out on it. I see y'all. Okay. I only know this because it's me. It's the brain. We all do it. Okay. I also want to, I'm going to hammer this home and grab Atomic Habits. If you're a reader, get in that book. You'll use it over and over again in your lifetime. Some things to think about is this very definitely applies to network marketing. You want to think about the systems. That's why we're talking about the what are you doing, the where, the when. That's a system rather than the goal. What happens, goals, understand that winners and losers both set goals. That is not, setting a goal is not entirely of its own what will differentiate you from achieving it, right? How many times have you set a goal that you didn't reach? Okay. Setting a goal in of itself isn't going to be just the answer. Number two, that one of the problems with focusing on the goal rather than the system is that achieving the goal is a momentary change, right? So, which leads us to number three. Goals restrict your happiness. It's this idea that I'll be happier when I earn the trip. I'll be happier when I achieve 3-star. I will feel more confident reaching out when I'm making X amount of dollars a month. Okay. So there's this idea that in order for me to feel better, I have to end up here. That's not how it works. Don't you want to have systems that are identity based that you can sit down and feel confident regardless of the outcome? Because this is just who I am. This is just how I show up in the world. And this is just what I do. And it blesses people. And I'm not going into details of this because different personalities are going to grab different pieces. Some of you, it's about connection. Some of you, it's about the fun. Some of you, it's like, just tell me what I get at the end and I'm just going to do it. Some of you are like, oh, it's all about the how. I've got it all figured out. These are the steps. Like, that's going to speak differently to every one of you. And that's totally fine. And then number 4 is, what happens is a lot of times if you set a goal, you stop doing what you achieve to get the goal as soon as you achieve it. This happens big in network marketing. You'll see people go on a big recruiting spree to earn a trip. And then for 6 months, they recruit nobody because they are associating the actions with the outcome. And when they achieve the outcome, they end up with this big low time. So no. Decide who you are, have systems. If you hear our team, we talk about really studying what you're doing quarterly. Like instead of saying, I'm going to go on a run, this is the first quarter business run. We're just doing what we do. And later we're going to have some data and we can look back and we can say, wow, man, I didn't do much in quarter 2. What was going on? Like it's just data. If you had a traditional business, like when I had my flooring company, I didn't be like, oh, we're going on no, like it's data and you understand how to work within the data. Okay. That's what I've got. Do you feel good on the time that you've had to workshop this? Do you want another couple minutes or can we keep moving? Okay. Then I get to introduce, the one and only Amy Lafitte, who is going to take us into building your list. And again, this is not, like literally grab a pen and paper. Here we go.
Hey guys, I'm so excited to talk about list building. Let me first tell you that I got to be with Kim Wee this week. So I'm so excited about that. And I actually have her list building strategies and numbers. Y'all want those? I would like some, yeah. Thank you, Mindy, for all of the excitement on that. Okay, that's what I was looking for. Okay, so Kim Wee, when she said, I'm going to do this business, these are her stats. So the first thing she did is she made a list of 500 to 600 people. Now, if you're new, just hang with me, okay? But I want to give you guys this. You can always make it look what you want it to be. Okay, made a list of 500 to 600 people. Second thing she did is she called all of them. I was like, oh. The third thing that came out of that is 80 people from all of them joined in the first 6 months. Out of those 80 people, 20 worked. Out of those 26 really worked. And that ultimately led to overrides of 150 countries and territories. And you know what? We always talk about mindset. You know what her mindset was when she was doing this whole thing? She said, I didn't need everyone to say yes. Because you don't, right? Those numbers are great. So as you're looking at your list building, and most of you guys are not brand new. So some of you already have lists, and those lists are great. So if you want to do a Kim Wee one and grab your list and add to the list and have your 500 list and be like, let's go. Okay, awesome. But also I want you to know just in your business that list building is a skill. So this is something that even if you feel like, oh, I'm not good at this, like you can become good at this. Okay, so couple steps I want to give you guys on how to kind of like put together a list or add to your list. The first thing is write down everyone you know. This is people you love. This is your best friend. These are people. I even heard Eric Worre say, write down the people you hate. I don't really hate anybody. I think that's a strong word, but I like that. He's like, write down everyone 18 to 98, every age, even the people that said they're not going to do network marketing. So here's the reason why. If you don't write a list, and if you're like, oh, I have it in my head. How many of y'all have had a brand new person say to you, oh, I have it in my head? And you're like, oh, I already know how this is going to go. And I think we all do that. I mean, I went to my first party and I was like, when I was thinking about joining the business, I was like, do I have somebody that might say yes to me? And I remember thinking, well, my mom uses the product, so she'll say yes, so I can't fail. Okay, I will join the business. Okay, so I think all of us on the front end have a very, very short list of 3 to 5 people that if they said yes, it would change our life. But even if all those people joined, very quickly, we're going to need a bigger list. But what happens when you take everybody and put them on the list is it allows your brain to start thinking of other people that you hadn't thought of. So it's going to all of a sudden bring you new people. So step 1 is write everyone down. And if you have not done this, you can Google memory joggers and it will pull up all sorts of different people. But just think logically, it's your family, it's your friends, it's your past coworkers, it's people you went to elementary, junior high, and high school with, right? It's your old neighbors, it's your current neighbors, everybody that you have in all those different categories. It's your ex-boyfriend's mom that you really vibed with. I don't know if y'all had any of those, but like I had some ex-boyfriend's moms that I was like, they were just the coolest women. Okay, so step 2, 6 degrees of separation. So now that you have your contacts, especially the ones you know really well, who do they know? So I think of like my cousin. My cousin has her best friend, she has her coworkers, she has her neighbors, and I know a lot of those people. So you can start writing down those people as well, where you have the circles of the people, your 6 degrees of separation from your specific list. So that's step 2. Step 3 is where you're constantly expanding your list. And this is where it becomes truly a skill. If you think about this, like I started this industry in 2005. I did not know any of y'all in 2005. Even if you guys go back to 2005, there's lots of new people in your life, right? So you're naturally already doing this. Sometimes though, it's just not taking all of the new people that you're meeting and actually strategically putting them on a list or starting to have some sort of way to have communication with them, you know, adding them. Like for me, I'll be honest with you, if I meet a new person and I vibe with them, regardless if I think I'm going to do business with them, in this day and age, I add them on social media. just because it's a really easy way for me to connect with them, to build a later connection with them. So in the past, like before that, I would meet cool people and I didn't get their number. I was like, that was so cool. Wish I would have seen them again. Has that ever happened to any of y'all? Yeah. So just be strategic and make sure you're putting them on your list. I always hear a lot of like 2 a day. And I used to, back in the day when we didn't have social media, 2 a day meant you went out and like met people in your grocery store. But now it's not that weird because 2 a day could be you adding some new friends on Facebook. It could be you starting some new conversations. It could be you like having a great conversation with somebody in like some sort of group and adding them and friending them and then putting them on your list like, hey, that's somebody I want to talk to later. Number 4 is you can network on purpose. And Trisha and I are going to talk a little bit about that in a while. So I don't want to get into that. But there are, going out and meeting people is fantastic. Number 5 and 6, these are just some things like if you're like, I don't have much of a list or I would like to refresh my list, go back to your most recent post and pull from the likes and comments. You probably had a great Christmas post where you posted your family photo and those people all love you. If you don't have one like that and you're like, Amy, I don't know, like my Facebook has been crickets or whatever, then upload a new profile picture. I love that because everyone who likes and comments, guess what? They like you because they liked your photo. They commented on your photo, how pretty it was, or how much fun that looked or whatever. So, but most importantly, just write down a list. So those are all a couple of just really quick strategies. We're trying to keep this quick. So I forgot to look on the agenda. Cool. So next I'm going to talk with Trisha, and actually we're going to talk about networking in person. So Trisha, I'm going to let you go ahead and start first. Trisha does a lot of networking in person.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys, thank you. I'm excited to be here and to share this with you. I, first of all, don't want to freak anybody out. Okay. So when you are looking at what am I going to do for adding to my list, everyone is different. So here's where, if you're interested in networking in person, this is how you know if it's for you. You like talking to people face to face, okay? You like getting up and talking to a group of people. And by a group of people, I mean that could be 5 people, it could be 20 people, it could be 40 people. And again, not to freak you out, but I want you to be prepared for what you might be getting yourself into if you go to in-person networking meetings. So you can find networking meetings anywhere. I think Amy's going to talk a little bit more about that, but you can find them on Facebook. You can find them on Meetup. You can find them through your Chamber of Commerce. Like there is a lot of ways to get out of your house and physically go to meetings, breakfast meetings, lunch meetings, dinner meetings, all sorts of activities or all sorts of types of meetings. Generally, when you're going to one of these, I like to think of it, it's a little bit like dating, right? You're not going to vibe with every group, just like you did not marry everyone you went on a date with. So you need to go with an open mind, like, I'm just getting to know them. I'm getting to know this group. I'm getting to know their vibe. This is not about, I'm going to have a bunch of people to sell to. Like, that's not how it works. Okay. So you're going to try out different groups until you find your people. I went to a lot of networking groups that were like, hey, here's my business card. I'm a realtor. Why don't you come buy from me? And I was like, well, you're not my people. That's not the vibe I want to be around. So the groups that I participate in are groups that are looking to lift you up. They want to partner with you. They want to get to know who you are. That's really what in-person networking is all about. It's about making connections. At a meeting, at a group that you go to, you're probably going to be asked to stand up and at the very least, give a 30-second little spiel about who you are. Now, this is a little bit more, you want to think about it as if this is the only time anyone ever gets to know a little bit about me, I want them to know who I am, who I work with, and how I help people. I don't want to talk about, like, I don't get up and say, I sell products for $3 and they're amazing. No, it's more about giving them a little snippet. Who are you? What do you stand for? You want to create like a little bit of curiosity because the whole idea is then they want to get your number. They might want to have coffee with you. Like I said, it's about connection. So a lot of those connections are meeting up later on for a one-on-one conversation. Might be about Zoom, or on Zoom, it might be a lunch or a dinner or coffee. But again, it's not about giving them a pitch. Whether you're building your list and networking online or in person, it still goes back to people are going to do business with who they like, know, and trust. So when you're getting together at these meetings, you want to keep that in mind. I'm looking for people that I know and that I like and that I trust. I want them to like, know, and trust me. So it's about relationships. Don't get weird. There's nothing weird about it. Handing out your business card and shoving something like that, or sometimes even bringing a sample to a meeting, it just starts to feel a little bit weird, right? So you want to think about, like, how do I get to know this person? How do I build a relationship with this person? And I like to think about it too. You know a lot of realtors, and you know exactly who you would pair up with the right realtor, right? Like your crazy cousin who's going to be all skeptical and questioning, you're not going to give them to the sweetest, nicest, kindest realtor you know. You might have to give them to, like, you might be passing that on to the right personality. So in that room, probably going to be other people involved in health. That's okay. That's okay. Because everyone does it differently, and no one is you. No one does what you do. Okay, even if they sell some kind of products, even if they're involved with some type of wellness company, they're not you. So you're going to these events to help people get to know who you are, not necessarily what your products are. And you're planting seeds. It's all about planting seeds. But again, it is all about the connections. And usually when you're meeting people in person, it's going to lead to more connections. And so I'm actually going to hand it back to Amy, because she's really good talking about what that actually means, making that future connection, and kind of playing that long game with the people that you're meeting. So Amy, go ahead, take it away.
Thanks, Trisha. Yeah, I think Trisha actually is a really great example of playing the long game and how she approaches networking. It's fantastic. And Shana, if you're able to spotlight me, that'd be great. And if not, find me. There we go. So the thing I actually wanted to share with you guys about with networking is something called referral partners. And I didn't know this for several years, and this really made a big difference. So when you're out meeting everybody, I will say this, if you have like just energy with somebody and you vibe with them, like I actually met Chase at a networking event, and I was like eating out of her energy. I'm like, this girl's amazing. I have to have her in my life. So it didn't matter that she was in a moving box company and I didn't necessarily have referrals for her. I was for sure talking to that girl. But outside of that, with referral partners, this is really great. So this is where you're thinking of people that you could refer business to and they could refer business back to you. I always wondered why realtors were like BFFs with their title company and their lenders. And then I realized, oh, because they refer business to each other like multiple times a day. So of course, it's like a symbiotic relationship, okay? So we're looking for that here in the health and wellness space, right? So off the top of my head yesterday, I was thinking like you've got your natural doctors, you've got your chiropractors, you've got your massage therapists, you've got personal trainers, you've got nutritionists, I have a personal stylist that's coming over to my house tomorrow, and I just love her. I think she's amazing. And so I'm going to be talking to her about my health and wellness business, because what happens when people are working on their closets? Sometimes it's because they had a health change, they need a health change, they want to make a change, right? And so I'm going to be having that conversation of how we can refer business to each other. Hairdressers, even. Honestly, a lot of those people, if you've ever had like somebody put on your list, like those nurses and people like that, and you're like, ooh, if they joined, like, you know how sometimes we get a little too over the top. If they joined, like my whole business would change. Yeah, like, well, if you see that same kind of person out in networking, not only could you potentially end up talking to them about 3, and they could potentially be a really great referral partner, but even if they aren't, like, even if they don't actually join 3, y'all can do a lot of business back and forth and refer each other. So that is something that is a really cool thing to look at for networking. And then where do you find networking groups? 3 areas that I think are really awesome. The first is you can go into Facebook events near me. You can put in, business networking, social networking, and you'll see all sorts of different things. Also, I think Eventbrite, is that where we buy our tickets sometimes? Eventbrite has a ton of different ones as well. Thank you, Lindy, for shaking your head. Yes. So Eventbrite is another one where you can put in your area code and even put in like health and wellness. Maybe you want to go to a health and wellness seminar, right? So that's another one. And then Meetup is one of my favorites. So that's an app. You download Meetup. And if you live in a really small town, you may have to like kind of expand your radius or whatever. But if you're in a town like Dallas, you're going to have a million options available for you. And last but not least is LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn would be a little bit more virtual in a lot of those situations, but I've now learned that it has one of the best SEOs on the internet. So you can put in all sorts of different things. Like you could put, how we're in Indonesia, you could put women entrepreneurs in Indonesia. And guess what? It's going to pop them. Like there's going to be groups in there that you can add. SEO is just like Googleable, searchable, like makes it easier to find different things. And then if you're in a smaller town and you're like, Amy, I don't know if I have any of those. Guess what? Every little town has a chamber of commerce. So you could definitely go to the meetings, join if you want. Again, just like what Trisha said, you don't have to, like, you can go to meetings without joining. So a lot of them let you come for a certain amount of times. And if you want, just go make a whole bunch of friends, friend them up on Facebook, and then like start your thing that way if you don't necessarily like love the vibe of the meeting, right? So but anyway, those are all some different ways you can network in person. And now we're going to turn it over to Lindy and Lauren, and they're going to talk a lot more on social media and how to build your list through social media. So Lindy, you'll have to unmute and take it away.
Hey guys. Okay. I think I'm going to go first, right, Lauren? All right. Pinned up. So I'm going to be really fast. I promise we will give you all the notes and things. I already dropped a little checklist into our leaders chat so they can disseminate it into the group. So don't worry if you miss something, because I'm going to go as fast as humanly possible to be respectful of your time. So we're going to talk about networking on social media, and then Lauren's going to jump on with me at the end to talk about groups, because it is one of the best ways to meet people without having to leave your house, because that's not always the option, right? Especially if you only have a certain amount of time, or you got kids, or whatever reason that you can't always get to an in-person place. So I like the way that Jesse Lee always talked about networking and social media and doing fit. So Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Personally, I picked 2 because sometimes ain't nobody got time for that. Like, it's a lot to do social media. So if you can do one. But Facebook and Instagram, in my opinion, are the best for creating connections in well-rounded. But if you're like Mindy, who has a ton of followers on TikTok, all of these strategies work. You just tweak it for the platform. So the first step is number 1 when networking on purpose on social media is you have to create content. And let me dispel any thoughts that pop in your head about I'm not a creator, because you are gifted by the creator to be a creator yourself. So you have a unique story, a unique thing. You are you, and there's no one else like you. So we always talk about 5 to 10 things about you. If you don't know what those things are, do a little 3, drop it on your Facebook or your Instagram and say, hey, what are 3 things that pop in your head when you think about me? These are great ways to know what your people are and what your brand is and what you should go with. So creating content, engaging, entertaining, educational, and inspiring. There's enough Debbie Downers on the internet. Don't be one of them, right? So make content that you like. The best way I can tell you to get inspiration is go follow people that you like. If you're not already following a lot of the leaders here, Trisha has amazing content. Amy, Lauren, Cassie, Shanna, like all of us have phenomenal content. Go love it and repurpose it for your own purposes. So create before consuming. This should go without telling. Before you get stuck in a scroll hole, you better be a creator before a consumer. Quantity. This is usually the number 1 question that we get when we talk about creating. How much should I do? Minimum 1 thing a day. That's it. One thing a day, one post a day, one story a day, one reel a day, one thing a day is the minimum. The goal, if you're going to be very successful on social media, is you have to put a lot out there to see what sticks. This is one time where the spaghetti analogy actually does work. So goal is one post on all platforms, 5 to 10 stories, 1 to 2 reels a day. If you're not there yet, one thing a day. Now, reminders, video is greater than static. So if you can do a video on your story versus a picture, it's always going to work out better. Always include a picture on your Facebooks or your posts. Repurpose content. Guys, use the same content across platforms, change it up a bit, and use stuff that you created in the past. I love repurposing my memories because I've already wrote it. I might as well rewrite it and use it again. Second, engagement is key. Content is queen and engagement is king. Okay. Every like is a lead. How many of you guys, drop it in the chat, really want people coming to you, dropping in your DMs? Like, what do you do? Tell me more. How do I get this? This is where you get it. If you're not getting likes and comments on your post, engagement is a problem for you. So if you're getting less than 10% of your people, so if I have 7,000 followers, I should expect 70-ish people liking and following and constantly on my stuff. If that's not happening on your post, engagement is a problem. So here's, especially if they're not business related, right? Your business related ones are going to get less engagement than your regular ones. That's why you should only do 1 or 2 straight up business things a week. 1 or 2, that's it. And if you're only doing 1 content a week, it better not be straight business. You can trickle in your business in a way that is very like incognito. Go look at some of the leaders' posts so that you can see how that actually works. Okay. Number 1, you're going to engage with your people on your stuff. Every like is a lead. Every comment is a big lead. So respond to all comments. Go message people with specific comments. If they are commenting more than 1 sentence, that is time out of their day they're taking on your stuff. You better be engaging with them. They are the hot leads. Okay. Now 2, engage with your friends on their stuff. Nobody likes somebody that just takes. You got to give. Okay. So you're going to go give your time. And I'm going to give you some homework later to how to do this, but comment on their post, react to their post, do the clam, comment, like, add, message. Okay. I'm going to comment. I'm going to like their stuff. I'm going to add them. If they're not already my friend, I'm going to message them. This is the standard of how we're going to create meaningful relationships online. Use your scroll for engagement. I personally set a 15-minute timer and I scroll for fun with the intention of interacting and engaging. Okay, number 3, find new people. This is what we're talking about, networking, right? You're going to add 3 to 5 suggested friends. Facebook makes this really easy. Instagram makes this really easy. They tell you who they suggest. If you have mutual friends and they don't look like a creeper, add them, message them. They're your people. Okay. They know people that you know. 6 degrees of separation. Start 3 to 5 conversations every day with new people. Easy way to do this is go through your stories, go through your reels, things like that. Search specific hashtags and topics to find people that match your brand. I'm a nurse. I might go search nurse and go find other nurses, right? Just by simply looking for other posts and interact with 3 to 5 relevant posts and creators. How many of you guys would love to sign up a already Instagram creator? The way you find them is you search for them. Make a connection. This is super simple, but we forget to do it because it's online. All right. This is your homework part. We're going to start daily conversations. Set a timer for 10 minutes, and you should send out something that we call like a green light script or a story script. And I'm going to drop these in the group so that you get them. Okay. So don't worry. You don't have to remember these verbatim. A green light is when you're on your messenger and the light beside the person, the little button, is green. It indicates they're online. So it's easier to start a conversation with somebody that's actually there, right? Like you knock, they're not home, it's harder. So this is a green light script. You can do this through Messenger and you can just scroll through the people. You can do this on Instagram. It's really simple. Hey, so-and-so, I saw you peeping on my post. I just wanted to check and see. Oh, I'm reading the wrong script. Scratch that, wrong script. Got too far ahead. Hey, happy Monday. I'm super excited to reach out to you. I've been following you for a while. How are you doing? Hey, happy Sunday. I just wanted to stop by and let you know, if no one else has told you today, you're awesome. I hope you have a great weekend. Anything fun planned? These are just connecting like things. You don't have to make it sound like this. You can change it up. And I like this one because there's a lot of people that follow me that I don't even know how they found me. Hey, I'm not even 100% sure how we connected, but welcome to my world. And I'd love to know a little bit about you. Who are you? How are you? What do you do? Tell me all the things. Okay. That's the green light script. Send it to as many people as possible in a 10, 15-minute period. Stories. This is another homework assignment. And you should do this kind of on the daily. If 10 minutes is too much, 5 minutes works, 1 minute works, right? Just find new people and engage with them. Set a timer, send out a story script to as many people as viewed your stories yesterday. So you have to actually be doing content for this to work. So find a story that got a lot of people watching and go send them this script in 10 minutes, as many as you can. Hey, so-and-so, thanks so much. I saw you peeping on my stories. Are you just a cheerleader? Are you interested in learning more about what I'm doing? Right? Hey, so-and-so, thanks so much for peeking at my stories. I really appreciate you. Are you just being a cheerleader? And with all the amazing support, are you interested in seeing what I'm up to doing these days? Okay. Last homework. This is for posts. When you get a post that has good engagement, you should pick one post a week to really use to grow your business. It doesn't have to be your business one. Those people are already going to come to you, or they're already going to comment. This should be whichever one gets good engagement, right? When I post something funny about the kids, it gets good engagement. Now I'm still going to go ask them about my business because they're already engaged. So set a timer, pick one post that works the best, and send out this post script. And what it specifically says is, hey, so-and-so, thanks so much for the love on my post. Were you looking for more information on what is up to? Or are you just supporting? Hey, so-and-so, thanks so much for the love on my live, or thanks for loving my reel. Are you curious about what I'm up to, or are you just supporting? And it's okay if they say they're just supporting. That's good too. We love interaction, no matter if they're supporting or they're interested. But you'll be shocked how many people are like, yeah, I've been watching you for a while and I really don't know what you do. So tell me more. So with that is kind of your daily method of operations on social media. Don't let it overwhelm you. Start with one thing a day. Just do one thing a day. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Lauren, and she's going to talk to you guys about groups, which is the GOAT when it comes to Facebook.
All right, Lindy. I don't even know if we even need to talk more about social media, because I'm pretty sure you just covered everything that there is to know about social media in that really short amount of time. Social media is a long game. Social media is just another tool. And so I want to reflect real back. Y'all probably know my story, but I didn't use social media for the first 3 months of my business because I was terrified of what people would think about me. And so I just refused to post at all. I wanted my friends and family to know what I was doing and hear it from me before I actually went to social media. But I 100% believe in curiosity posts, because I think you should get people interested and curious about what you're doing before you actually start spilling the beans on social media and start sharing stories and things like that. But social media is one of those tools that, like, if you didn't use, it'd basically be the equivalent of, like, let's just say Shanna started a flooring business, right? Because she owned a traditional flooring store. If she started a traditional business tomorrow, but never told a single person about it, would that be okay? Right? Okay. Using social media as a tool is the exact same thing. Like, starting a business and getting involved in this business and not using social media would be detrimental. Okay. So use social media as another tool, but social media doesn't work without outreach. Okay. And so when I talk about, Lindy is very, very, very consistent. Like, I don't care if, like, Lindy is deathly ill on her deathbed, she is still going to post on social media. It is her gift for consistency is in the social media world, because she is doing attraction marketing. She's causing people to come and reach out to her. My favorite thing to do is to get into groups. And so I have talked about this before, where growing your network, especially if you're brand new, right? But especially if you've been in this in the long game for as long as me, 6 years, Amy's been in this even longer. And so when you've been in this industry for this long, your warm market, your closest friends and family, they know what you do. They know what you do so much that, like, if they want to be a part of what you do, it doesn't even take a conversation of you coming to them anymore. Like, they will come to you. They're like, girl, I've been watching you for 6 years. I know what the heck you do. I'm not, no worry about putting me on your list. Right. And so You have to go out and grow your network. So how do you do that? How do you grow your network? It is very hard to be successful in this business if you are a hermit crab who has been living under a rock for the past 10 years. You have to do what Trisha said. Go to networking events, go to meet people. But here we are in a time where social media, Zoom, and things like that is really a gift because you never have to leave your house. You can network with people without even having to go out and leave your home. And so how do you do that? I've talked about this before where I want you to make a list. And I am dead serious when I say this work. So like Lindy just said earlier with giving you guys homework and kind of working through some of these things, one of the homework assignments that you should be writing a list of all your amazing qualities. Write a list of all your hobbies. Write a list about facts about you. Write a list about interesting things like for example, I keep using Lindy as a reference because I'm doing this with her, but like she is very into like what's happening in the world. She is fond of useless but interesting facts, okay? And she knows everything there is to know about the news. And I'm sure she is in a ton of groups where she is meeting new people that are just like her, right? The ideal prospect is somebody that's just like you. So what are your qualities? For me, I mean, obviously, I love home decorating. I love cookie baking. I love all of these things where I used to be an avid couponer. And so I met tons of people in couponing groups. And I did exactly what Lindy said. I'm not making posts in the groups and I'm not going and trying to prospect. I'm just growing my network. I am just meeting people so that I can continually drip information. So if you're an empty nester, if you love gardening, I want you to dig deep. Okay, I'm deaf in my left ear. There's a group for people who are deaf in their left ear. I swear to you. My daughter has an uncombable hair syndrome. There's a group for uncombable hair syndrome. Guys, whatever there is a group for, I promise you can go find a group with people that have the same qualities as you, and you can grow your network through those groups. And then all you have to do is just engage with them and then constantly drip information on them and then be consistent with your social media. If I can tell you anything about social media, it's just staying consistent because you, believe it or not, have loyal followers and supporters and friends that if you don't show up, will wonder what happened to you. That is probably the number one mistake I see with social media is people just not being consistent and not showing up. I'm not saying show up for your business every day and don't post about your business every day because that's kind of annoying. Like if I see somebody every day who's like, oh, this about my business or that about my business, and they're posting like corporate graphics every single day, like, you know, their flyers with the PDFs of the ingredients and kind of stuff. And they're like, message me for this, you know, that is kind of overwhelming. But I'm just saying, show up for the people who support you, give them life updates, be funny, be entertaining. And Lindy did most of the work here. So that is all that I believe without being too overwhelming that you would need for social media. And I believe the next topic that we are going to talk about is with Katie Jo DeWald. Is she in the house today? Hey, you.
Hey.
All right. So Katie is amazing at business collaborations. And when I say business collaboration, she's going to talk to you through so many different aspects of, you know, she grew her business a lot in person when she first started. She's partnered with businesses. She's figured out ways to get our product line into the streets, right? We always say the most product out in the streets is the name of the game. Like you can win with getting product on the street. She's figured out a way to, number one, go into businesses and talk with businesses. And she's also figured out a way where she can go and put her products and set them up on display. Katie, can you tell us more about, like, let's start real quick with when you host an event. When you host an in-person event, say I'm coming into Oklahoma and we're going to have an event. Can you tell us what you and your mom and some of the other girls have done leading up into the event to kind of get the word out and what y'all done?
Yes. So we surprisingly have not hosted an event yet in our hometown or anywhere in our area. As you know, we have gone out to maybe some teammates in Tulsa or around Oklahoma City, Norman. But I don't want it to be a wasted trip. I want to support our team and be there for in-person. I love in-person events, but we go ahead. It might be a week, it might be 2 weeks before. And my mom and I, several other people, we've teamed up together. We like to go and knock on businesses. We love hair salons, nail salons, you know, they love talking, and we just try to reach people who aren't connections or aren't friends, so that hopefully they come. And we normally go, like I said, a week before, and then we follow up a couple days before the event and remind them, because everyone's busy. They might have not put it in their calendar. And we just want to try and reach as many people as we can and hope that they show up to your event.
And what are you saying when you go into a new business? Are you just saying like, hey, we're having a wellness event, or what are you doing?
So I learned this from you. So when I started, because, you know, I was a newbie, I went product based. What I have found is so many people are looking for extra income during this economy, or, you know, just needing more in life. And so once I started trying to focus on the business side and really intrigue them that this is an awesome opportunity for, and everyone needs to check it out, we saw numbers growing at our in-person events, because everyone sells products. Everyone, you know, has supplements or a cabinet full of bottles. But when you get people in the seats, we prove that our products are best, and we prove that our business model is the best. And so I have seen better results by inviting people like, hey, I have a business opportunity that you really should take a look at. I feel like it could be successful in your salon or in your chiropractic business, things like that.
Awesome. And so you are getting, when you walk into your salon, basically, for a lack of a better word, you're finding out if people take supplements or nutrition, because your goal is, if they're already taking supplements and nutrition, you can get them to switch to ours, and they can also make an income by switching to ours and then referring people.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
I don't go out of the gun like I first started, like ours is best. They don't want to hear that. But once we get them in a room and show them the absorption qualities and things like that, then normally you are going to see that they realize it and switch over to yours.
And when you're meeting new people, when we go into a new town and we do a meeting, what's the number one thing you learned about getting contact information?
Oh, I totally nailed this one at first. My business card is the best you've ever seen. I have the PDR on one side and the ABC on the other side, but it doesn't really help when you just hand those out, because then the ball is in their court. So I have found, especially when going to other areas that I don't live, especially waitresses, bartenders, wherever you're eating, shopping, you know, random people, you don't have their phone number. You have no way to get in contact with them. So you can invite them to your event, and they're for sure, especially if you're tipping, gonna come to your event that night. But what happens when they don't show? Like, especially some of them that are likable, it hurts your feelings, and you have no way to follow up with them if you don't get their phone number. So I don't care if it's Facebook, I don't care if it's phone number, email, their pager, if they still have one of those. It's very important when you drop off your business card or when you invite to your event in that town, that you get their contact information, so that the next day you can follow up with them and say, hey, I really missed you last night. I was looking forward, you know, to hanging out. Are you hearing more? And then they'll say, obviously, like, sorry, something came up. Well, then you can follow up with either a 3-way or sending the intro video to 3, and then it can get more conversations going.
And you are the queen of that. I will tell y'all, from watching Katie, when we set up events and she goes and rents out rooms, every hotel manager where we have done an event, Katie has gotten their contact information to share more about this business. Now, you've also been really successful with putting your products in certain types of businesses and setting up like a booth to display the products. Tell me more about that. How do you approach business owners, and tell me what you have in your booth?
So, this might be one of my proudest things because it's been one of the hardest things. Salons, most of the time, I don't know if they get kickbacks like doctors. I mean, I don't mean that rude, but it's hard to get product into them. But I have found when you're consistent and you just keep trying, it pays off in the end. So I have a couple of booths set up, like I like to call. It reminds me back in the day, like the JCPenney, like rent-a area. If you guys remember that time, my grandma loved putting her quilts in there. But I have several that I pay a monthly booth rent, and I have all 6 products on display. I have the like PDR. I have it framed nicely so that it looks, presentable and explains each product. And then I also have a frame that has my Venmo or Cash App set up so that they can grab and pay right on the spot. And obviously when they Venmo, they put what they buy, and I just try to replenish that every couple days. And I have found that I really like it because I have so many new customers that I don't even know who they are. Like I've never met them, but they went into the salon, they were interested in the product. So it's allowing me to reach people that I don't even know.
Yeah, and it's getting the people in the salon talking, and they're talking, like, I know specifically you guys are going to laugh, but kind of people in some of these towns know Purify as like the hangover product. And so people around like the salons and the businesses are talking about like the products, and people how are, and Katie said at one point she couldn't even keep Purify in stock because so many people were coming in and buying Purify from her. So not only is it a good opportunity to physically sell product and keep an inventory, but it's also getting people talking about the product around the salon. And then like her contact information is there. But I'll say another thing about, getting your product set up in the salon. Guys, if you are going to do this, you need to make sure you have a secondary account under you where you would purchase your inventory. Okay. So not overbuying on your own account, but like make sure that you're getting a commission from 3 on the company for whatever you're ordering to keep in these booths. So like, for example, Katie has an LLC. And so she orders her products to keep in these vendor spots, and she orders her product under that, and she's not just ordering it on her account. Any great golden information, Katie, about this. You have anything else you feel like would be valuable?
I think that's all.
All right, you killed it. Awesome
I
job.
have one more thing I forgot.
Okay, tell us.
One of my favorite things when we're hosting in-person events is testimonials. I feel like that really takes it up a notch. So I would encourage everyone to try, whether they're a teammate or a customer, whatever city you're going to, reach out to them ahead of time, especially if they have seen, a lot of changes from these products. It just it pulls at your heartstrings. And that's my favorite part of in-person events, is when they tell their story and how these products has changed their life.
Yeah. And so basically what you're saying is if you know someone has a powerful testimony, even if they're a brand partner, ask them to come to the event. Even if they don't have guests, like if they have free, get them to come and share their story at these events.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. I believe that we are going to turn this back over to the next speaker.
Awesome. Okay, I'm going to pop in here, and here's what I want you to do. Whose brain is on fire with like, oh my gosh, why didn't I think of this? Why didn't I think of that? Stop right here, brain dump it right now. Timer's going on. You've got a few minutes. Go. Okay, get it all out. Let those creative juices flow. Write it down. We'll give you like 5 minutes, actually 4. Don't go to the bathroom. You don't need to go to the bathroom. You need to make your list. Okay, let's move on. Y'all were ahead of schedule. Who likes getting extra time in their Saturday back? Woo! Because y'all have amazing leaders. Okay, let's keep it going. This next section. So how are we feeling about making your list? Is your brain open? It's telling you got lots of options, lots of directions to go, lots to explore. Okay, this is awesome. Now we're going to move into the system. Okay. And I want to hit on this really quickly. We've got some new people. We have some seasoned people. Let me tell you, this is a conversation as you build a team. You're going to have this conversation every week for the rest of your life. If you have a big team, you're going to have this conversation every day for the rest of your life, as long as you're building a network marketing business. Who's excited about that? Okay. So what happens is we have a system in place, and we're going to beat that into you because the system is residual income. Like, you hear me? The system is residual income. When we say the system, what do we mean? What do you mean the system, Shanna? What do you mean the system? Like, is anybody brain giving them a little bit of kickback? What's the system mean? What does the system mean? Okay. It's very simple. It is using a third-party tool. Okay. And it's really two pieces. This is how my brain works. And it just is so simple to me. I hope this works for you. I think of it as two pieces of the system. It is the asking. This is your action to the what. Okay. You are not asking if you're if you're asking, you're not asking, like, you're not the what. Something else is the what. Does this make sense? Ask to the what. So we're going to talk about the what, and then they're going to tell you how you do the ask to that particular what, because there are different tools in your toolbox, right? So you want to know, we're going to cover in-person events. We're going to cover hybrid events. We're going to cover using calls. We're going to cover using messages, and we're going to cover, what am I missing? Videos and Zooms. Okay. And again, high level, this is just all the things just really quick. What are the top things to keep in mind? Because listen, one thing we always want to honor, it is not an extensive, exhaustive list of what to do, strategies or skills. It is your mindset that you're, like when Lindy said, it's just a post a day. How many of you have been in the place of, I have to post every day? That's not what she thinks. She thinks it's just a post a day. No big deal, right? She gave you the secret sauce. That was it. You could forget everything else that she told you. And if the only thing you thought was her mindset, it's just a post a day, you literally will change your business. Y'all hear me? Okay. Awesome. So the ask to the what, that's all I have to take a minute to do a setup. We're going to go ahead and move into in-person events. Why do we start with in-person events? It's like, I want you to see, those of you that are analytically minded, I'm going to paint you the whole picture. So the rest of you pause for a second. This is more information than you need. But we start with an in-person event to something because that's generally how you are used to getting with your friends and family. So when you're looking at your first wave of people, it's normal. Like last night, I had a ton of people in my barn, all family and friends. Everybody plays dominoes, drink. Like this is normal for me to invite those people to my physical area and say, hey, this is what I'm doing, whether it's for you or not. Let's start here, right? And okay, and then what happens is some of those people can't come. And so then you're talking about, okay, well, then what is my tool for the people who can't come? And so we open up a new set of tools for the toolbox. And then those people who maybe couldn't come to the Zoom, there's another set of tools that you're unpacking and using to get the information. So it is a progression. And in order to get to the other tools, you really we found it's easiest to start here. Okay. Does that make sense? This all good? Okay, so I want to go ahead and introduce the Queens of In-Person. They are rocking the Dallas area. This is Amy Lafitte and Chase DeCure. You on here? Yep. I don't know who's going first, so I'm gonna hand them the floor. Perfect.
Yes. Awesome. Well,
Oh, sorry, I just accidentally muted you and trying to spotlight you.
You're good. You're good. I'm excited to talk to you guys about in-person events. And I know we're in a post-pandemic world, but all of your leaders that have been in network marketing pre-pandemic, they rock in-person events. In fact, I used to think like my productivity was based on the mileage on my car. And a lot of us I used to be called the road runner in a previous company. Some of us were always like on the road, right? And so I think in-person events are fantastic. And I do occasionally still get pushback now post-pandemic. Like, do people even like in person? Yeah, they do. And, I will tell you first off, like, because of us being in the society we are now, people are craving community more than anything else. A couple other things you'll see happen at in-person events that don't always happen and translate to virtual, even though I love that we're all here today virtually. I know we're all over the country, so this is wonderful, but it really helps raise belief in somebody who is looking at something for the first time. They're in an experience, and it's a really powerful experience. There's more emotions happening. There's more excitement. And here's the thing I love the most. If you're someone who doesn't like things to be just hanging in the balance, if you bring somebody to an in-person event, a decision will be made at the event. So whether it's a yes or whether it's a no, you will actually know. I don't know if you've ever done a Zoom and then you somehow can't get a hold of the person, or, you know, something weird happens. You actually get a decision made. So I love in person. And there's really two kinds of in-persons that we're really doing here at 3. The first is in-home parties. And we'll talk a little bit about that. The second thing is corporate events. That's where 3, the leaders are coming around. Maybe Lauren is coming into your town. Maybe that's where some of the corporate leaders are coming in town and doing a super Saturday or a regional. We're going to be doing more regionals in the spring. So first I want to talk to in-home parties. So really what I love with these is it could be as simple as, just like Shanna said, you inviting some people over to your house. Some of your family, some of your friends come over to your house, and you're getting to share the 3 opportunity with you. One thing that you can do to really elevate this, just like we were talking about having a third-party resource. Now, obviously, if you're doing an in-person event, the first thing that's going to be third-party is the PowerPoint, right? So they're going to get to see that, and they'll get to see the product. But outside of that, how can you elevate it with some sort of third-party validation? So that's where you may have a leader. A lot of times you will have a leader that's coming and helping you present, but you may be somewhere where a leader's not coming to your town. Maybe you're wanting to do this, and you totally could. A second option that you have is being able to have somebody else that's a brand ambassador with 3 help present with you. I love this. Like, a lot of us in this business, like you'll see Lindy and Lauren presenting, me and Shanna presenting. You know, a lot of us will do that, and one of us will do the front part, one of us will do the back part. I love that because it's 2 different personalities, it's 2 different perspectives. I think it brings a lot to the audience. Let's say you're like, Amy, I live in a town and my leader's not coming, and there's no brand ambassadors by me. I'm like, what do I do? So what I would do in that situation is, do you have a couple of people, maybe it's like your best friend and your mom, but do you have some people that are on products that are customers that have had a good experience? That's your third-party validation. Bring them to the event and have them share their testimony on what the products have done for them. So those are all some things you can do. Later on, Shanna and Faith are going to talk about hybrid. So you'll hear about even how you can have somebody Zoom into your living room, or another way where you can have somebody else presenting. But I don't want to go into that now. So, but I just think that's a really great thing to know of how you can kind of elevate. So let's talk about the different ways that you can invite. And I'm going to share screen if I can. So for an in-person, Shanna, do you have a way where you can make it where I can screen share?
I made you a co-host. Is that not coming through?
Let me
That's
see.
that's all you need to be able to share screen.
Oh, it's working now. Thank you. Perfect. Okay. All right. So you have your health invite, and a lot of these start out the same. So it's like, hey, Nicole, what are you doing Wednesday at 7 o'clock? You're first finding out if they're available. I like doing that in my invites. I never saw that when I was in a million other companies, and I would get somebody really excited. Hey, I've got this great muffins and makeovers. It's going to be, you know, at my house, blah, blah, blah. Can you come? It's Saturday at 10. And then they're like, no, I can't. And I'm like, can you not come because your kid has soccer, or you can't come because you don't want to do muffins and makeovers, and I shouldn't invite you again? I don't know if that ever has been awkward for you, but that's been awkward for me. So just knowing, like, clearing their schedule before I'm even inviting to the event is super helpful. Most of your invites probably will be health. I feel like that's really easy. I like these invites, by the way, too, because it's not about you. It's about the other person on the other end of the line. What's in it for them, which is always what people are listening for. So the health invite is, you know, hey, this has really helped my family in X, Y, and Z. I know that you've mentioned you have these specific problems. I'd really love for you to hop on my Zoom. I'd really love for you to come over to my house, get some more information, no obligation, of course. So can you make it? So I love these invites because they're very quick. They have enough information to know what they're being invited to. And if, you know, like if they can come, like what it's all about, and get straight to the point of asking them. The wealth invite is very similar. It's like, you know, hey, are you available this day and time? This has really helped my family have an additional stream of income. I thought of you because you're very successful. I thought of you because I love this one. One of my friends, Mary Kay, says, I thought of you because I really respect the way that you run your life. So if you have someone who maybe doesn't have like a corporate job or whatever, but they like manage their life well, they are someone who can manage everything well. So they could totally rock a business, right? So I thought of you for whatever reason. Anyway, I'd love for you to come over to my house, get a little bit more information, no obligation, of course. So can you make it? And then the friend favor, my least favorite, but if they don't fit into health and wealth and you're like, I still want to invite them, they're in my life, then this one is great. I'm needing a friend favor. Can you come support me? I'm finally doing something for myself and I'm really excited. I just need to know I have someone to support me. So can you be there for me? So anyway, I will later on post those in the chat so you've got them. But that's just some really easy, quick ways you can invite to in person. And at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Chase because Chase has a totally different personality style and has some really fun ways where she invites to home parties as well as how she invites to corporate events. And so Chase, I'm going to let you take it away.
Hey girl, hey. Yeah. Oh my God, this training has been amazing. I'm so excited. All the stuff. Thank you to all the leaders and everybody who spoke. I'm doing this, just so you know. Mindy, thank you for that smile, honey, because we are doing this, right? Okay, so let me get back to what I'm supposed to be doing. So yes, girl heart. All right, so I do invite very different. I'm going to give you 3 of the ones that I use for in-person, Super Dat Saturdays, corporate events, but anything in person. I just love it. Like Amy said, you get a decision. Whether it's a yes or no, you get a decision because I am a decision collector. Call me the decision collector. That's what I need, right? So my first one that I like to use is, who do you know that would like to earn an extra $1,000 a month without quitting what they already do? Most of our people are JOB people, right? And so sometimes when we mention them looking at something like, oh, I can't quit my job, I don't want you to. And for me, for someone who's held a job for so many years, that works. So who do you know that would like to earn an extra $1,000 a month without quitting what they currently do? I'm hoping when I ask this person this, they're going to say, well, duh, me, Chase. Right. But I'm asking, who do you know? Because now it makes it easier for me to talk to you because I'm kind of taking you out of like, I ain't worried about you. Who do you know? And they're like, me. Okay, great. And then I proceed with my invite. That's the one. I love that one. The next one I like to use is, people love getting compliments, right? Like we all love it. You can say you don't, but you do. We all like to be called cute and sassy and having all these things. So I like to be like, girl, you're cute, you smart, you ambitious, you got it going on. I need you to help me with my business. We like to help people. Help me evaluate my business. I want you to just come, take a listen, and I want your thoughts. Like I know you're all these things. And I also include, and bring a friend. I know you hang with people just like yourself, who's smart, funny, ambitious. So bring a friend, come listen. No, I don't need you to do anything, but just help me evaluate my business. They don't know nothing about my business. I don't want to know what they got to say, but when they get there, they get in and their friend getting in. How about that, right? Like they're getting in and their friend's going to get in. I'm not letting them leave. So now, that's not funny. I kind of just trapped them and their friend because they're both getting in. Okay, so that, bring a friend, come on in. The last one I like to use is another like, not like indirect, like, I know this is not for you, but do you know anyone that's interested in earning some extra income? I don't put how much on that. Just, do you know someone who's interested in hearing about or earning some extra income? Because the world is just so expensive. I love the do you know anybody because it makes it easier to invite. And sometimes when you put income on it, depending on where they are in life, you may or may not grab them. So sometimes, depending on if I don't really know a lot about what they're making or where they are in life, I don't put an income on it. I just say, do you know anybody who might be interested? Right. And so those 3 I use all the time. They can be tweaked, but I'll also drop them in the chat. And I also want to say this. So we're going to continue with inviting in person. So now we got our invite, we got people coming, but I want you to listen to this. I'm going to tell you a big secret. And this is what makes it easy for me. I'm going to think about it. I'm going to try. That sounds interesting. Girl, you crazy. No, I'm not coming. A yes is a yes. Anything but a yes is a no. So don't psych yourself out. Okay. So just remember, anything other than a yes, like yes, I'll be there, is a no. And that's okay. We're going to continue to invite and continue to collect decisions because I've heard it all. Girl, you crazy. Okay, you're not coming. Thank you. But who do you know? I know you're not coming, right? So just keep that in mind. Okay, so now that we invited, we got people coming to the event, right? So now the day of the event, whether it's a corporate event, Super Saturday in person, we got them there. So now what you need to do is prepare for that. You're going to show up early, save your seats. Obviously, you're going to follow up, right? Follow up, show up early, save your seats. You're going to bring product. You're going to bring product because what's worse than a friend of yours signing up, spending $1,500 and then going home to her husband like, I got this business, I spent $1,500. And he was like, well, oh, well, crap, I ain't got nothing. He's going to be like, well, go get our $1,500 back. I am the queen. I will give away collagen. I will give it away. You spend money with me, I'm giving it away. So bring product. Give it to them. Somebody signed up, my business is worth a box of collagen or a box of pure, whatever. I give it. Amy knows I'm the queen of, Amy, bring me some more product. I need some more product. I'll replenish. I feel like, bring it all. Give it to them because we want them to go home, have something to show their person that they started this business, right? So let's see what else. So we're following up. We're saving seats. We have paper applications because I'm going to tell you how important this is at the end, right? So we get to the event. We're mingling. We're talking to people. The presentation is starting. It's going on. Do not talk during your presentation. I know we've heard it. We get excited. What you're supposed to be doing while the presenter is presenting is looking at your people, looking at who's nodding, who's raising their hand, who's shouting amen and hallelujah and praise and yes, I need this. So at the end, you know who you can go close, right? Because that's the best part, right? So you're paying attention. So now we're through the presentation and we're going to go close. So we're going to hand out our applications. And what I do when I hand out application and a pen, I say, here's your application, your pen. I want you to just write at the very top what you like the most, like what you heard that you like the most, put it at the very top. So now I know when I start talking to them, what I'm going to start with, right? So example, I'm going to put, hey, I saw I can make money. Girl, me too. That's what I like too. So my friends say, I like the products. Girl, me too. I like the products too. Whatever they like, you like, period. But you like what they like, right? So now you got them and you're gonna start your close. But just making sure though, if you set yourself up with those couple things, at the end of the day, you're going to get a decision. Like Amy said, yes or no, but either way, you get a decision. Now, my favorite part, and I'm almost done. When you get that first yes, I'm in, the application is filled out, you're going to scream. I used to be like, they'd be like, what? Wait, what happened? She is a brand ambassador, started her own business, and people just started signing up. Be excited. Just make it like we were screaming. And then after we knew it, the whole room would be signing up. We used to do Super Saturdays, 60 plus people. Me or Amy gonna get our first yes and we gonna scream. And then we're gonna scream again for the next person. So be excited. I know it's hard, but sometimes you just gotta be excited about what you have, right? And it makes other people excited. So I know I talk really fast. I will drop the comment, my list in there. But at the end of the day, I just want you to take this away. Be excited for what you have and don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up. If you do not quit, you will win. See, I'm excited. Okay, back to Amy. I'm done. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. No, this is awesome. I love it. Thank you, Chase. You rocked it out. Love it. We're going to send it back over to, oh gosh, I didn't even look. Maybe Shanna, maybe you can tell me who's speaking next.
Actually, I'm gonna kick this to you for a second. Oh, actually, nope, it's me and Faith. It's coming back to you here in a little bit.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so now we're gonna switch. We're gonna talk a little bit about, was that okay? We're moving so fast, but Chase, Amy, like, oh my gosh, that was fire, like absolute fire. I took so many notes and I'm like, no wonder these girls are killing it and closing it. And not only that, it's like the cycle that because y'all are doing it so well, you're winning and everybody that's a part of it loves it and wants to do more. And so no wonder Amy's like, this is like, we love it. It's fantastic. Do it all, so high fives, y'all's energy, everything was fantastic. I took so many notes. I'm going to be listening to that. And I always listen to videos really fast. I'll be slowing it down on Chase and like hanging out and pausing. Like I want the replay on that. So good. Okay. we're going to talk about hybrid. Faith, where are you? Can one of the other co-hosts find Faith and pin her for me, please? So really cool backstory. Some of you, Autumn is in Canada. And Autumn and I started working together, and everything she did was social media. She's in the making babies season, and her and Faith connected on social media. So understand, Faith had not gone to an in-person meeting. I had not gone to an in-person, Autumn had not gone to an in-person meeting. Faith lives 9 hours from where Autumn is. But if you've met Faith at any of our events, she's absolutely precious and has a heart for people. So like we talked about, like some people just love loving on people, encouraging them, making space for them, holding space for them. That is Faith. And so of course she wants to build her business in person, but how does she do that when, you know, Autumn's not driving 9 hours with little tiny babies and presenting for her, nor am I coming to Canada and basically 10 months out of the year. So she has done hybrids, and she's done it a couple different ways. Faith has done it where we started where she would pick a time and I would zoom in, and it was really great because I got to see the face of her friends and family. They were really, she did so good at holding space and inviting them and transferring the questions to me over the computer. And so it was really, really beautiful. She's also been in a position where she's like, I'm going to play a video. I know how to open. I can answer their questions. I know to plug them into you and put them on calls or in group chats. I'm going to play a video. She's done both. And I would love, Faith, I'd love for you to just share, your experiences with both. What would be the information that you have to share with them to use those tools, if it's a good fit for them?
Okay, so at first, I wanted to just stick with just having one of the uplines or leaders zooming in, because I'm all about connection, and Shanna got my heart, and Amy when I first joined. And so I was like, man, I just want everyone in my life to meet them as well, because they're and obviously Autumn got my heart as well, but but I just wanted everyone to meet the people who got me so inspired and involved in this. But then as I got further along the business, Shanna kind of pulled me out and was like, hey, let's just do a video. And it really scared me at first, because I was like, but I want them to meet you. I want them to talk to you guys. And then she reminded me, she's like, they're not here for us. They're here for you. The people you invite to your party, and the people you invite to come see the information and everything, they're here for you. They're not here to hear about Shanna or Amy or Autumn. They're coming for you. Because they want to see what you have to offer and the person that you are. And so I guess what I kind of thought about after that was the way that Shanna or Amy or Autumn inspired me is I'm that same for the people who are coming as well. And it kind of encouraged me in that way. And it also got me thinking that they'll join if this sits right with them. It doesn't matter the case on how they'll join. If the information or they're inspired or whatever they heard is what they need to hear, it won't matter the case and how the information gets to them, whether it's through video, whether it's through joining a Zoom or just hearing an in-person presentation. But I didn't let the fact that it wasn't in person or a live Zoom steal the connection from the product that I have, from my connection to the products and to the business and to the whole community. Anyways, I don't know if that made sense, but those are my thoughts.
So how do you invite, so you have people, she's done it where she has people all in her living room and plays a video, or I Zoom in. You've also done kind of a mixture, when I've presented or somebody's presented, some people join virtually, some are in person. I guess talk about, are there differences in how you, if somebody were to have the people in their living room, how would you invite them, versus, because you wouldn't say, oh, I have somebody coming I want you to meet. What are some of your invites? Do they look the same as what some of the other leaders have shared? Is it the same kind of
Yeah.
invite?
Yeah, they're kind of similar. But something that I've kind of incorporated, because I have so many people I have so many friends actually all over the world, because I've gone to different places, but a lot of people I don't actually see in person that I'm really close with. And so I'll say I really want you here, and like I can't have you here in person, so I would love to just connect with you over the Zoom or over a phone call. Like I would love to connect with you this way. It's like obviously if you could be here in person, I would love that. But I would love to just connect with you anyways, and get this information to you somehow, because um, I I don't know, because I love this person. You know what I'm trying to say? But
That's perfect.
it's more so just like regardless of whether we're in person or not, and I would just love to be part of it anyways. So
yeah, and I have to give her a lot of credit, because when she says she was like, I literally threw it on her. She thought she was getting a live presentation, and I called her 2 hours before and said, I want you to play a video. And so when she's saying she had to work through that fear, she did it, and she did it fast, and she had an amazing event, and she did it in front. She had another team member there. And so it was fantastic. I'm really proud of you. So that's awesome. I love what video we're going to get to. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to the video section in a second. So, Faith, is there anything else that you wanted to share about encouraging them to open up their home and do some form of a leader zooming in or playing a video?
I don't know. All the words that just keep on coming to mind is literally, if it's meant to be, it'll be. So it doesn't matter really. Well, it does matter, but whatever the case is, how you get the information to them or how you get the information in front of them. It really doesn't matter. What will happen, what is meant to happen will happen. And if they're meant to join or be part of it, it'll sit right. And you don't need to worry about that.
Just do your thing. Okay. Thank you, Faith. So good. Thank you. Okay. So next we're going to move into, so you've invited them to an in-person, maybe they couldn't come, or maybe you're not doing in-persons at all, and you're looking at utilizing tools like Zooms and videos. The short story is, don't overthink this. This is really simple. If you don't know what video you want to use, go to your upline or somebody that you trust and say, hey, what's your favorite video? They're going to hand it to you. We have videos on the boards. We want to make sure that you're using like the older videos talk about the founder's opportunity, and that's not here anymore. So that would be my only thing to tell you, is go get a fresh video that has one that is not the founder's opportunity and speaks to the pro pack. Okay. So that's it. That's find one that you like. You listen, you're going to use different ones depending on who you jive with. But again, like Faith said, there are going to be some people that you're going to be like, I love this presenter. And they're going to be like, that presenter gets on my nerves. I like this presenter. Again, don't overthink it. It all transfers the information, and that's not going to be a really big deal. Just pick what works for you. It's more about you doing your part. The thing that I want to tell you with Zooms and videos, this is very similar. I'm somebody who has built my business to the same degree using both in person. Yes, I was just like Amy. I put 800 miles on my truck every single week, and I go all over the state of Texas. And listen, I built a big business doing that. I also built a big business with a team that worked their phones and worked Zooms and worked videos, and we produced the exact same, 120,000 in volume in 4 weeks. Okay. Like over $100,000 in volume in 4 weeks, both ways. So don't get in your head that this works better than this. What works is what when you work, it will work, right? And so here's some couple little tips. If you're using videos and Zooms, tell them what you're going to do. You're not just inviting them to watch a video, and you're not just inviting them to watch a Zoom. You are asking them to do that. And hey, if I send you a video, would you watch it? And they're saying, yeah, like, would this be easier for you? Like, you've invited them in person, you've invited them to Zoom. Hey, would it be easier if I sent you a 20-minute video and we talked afterwards? Would it be easier if you hopped on a Zoom tonight and we talk afterwards? Great. Notice I am setting up, this is a combo. You don't get a video without a conversation. You don't get a Zoom without a conversation. People, if you say they don't want to get on a call, that tells me nothing about your prospect. It tells me about you and your thought and value of getting them on a call with a leader. Does that make sense? Okay. If you're avoiding calls, you need to get on a mastermind and you need to work with a leader who can coach your thoughts. You have a belief that is slowing your business down because there's literally a tool in your toolbox that you're like, people don't want to use that tool. No, you don't want to use that tool. And the problem with that is look at the case of Faith and Autumn. Autumn does not host in persons, yet somebody on her team is able to use that tool. Right? It is important that you understand all the tools so you can pass a full toolkit to your team. It's the same thing. There are things that you just need to know. Okay. So with that, that's literally all I want to say about Zooms and videos. That's the key piece is that you connect it with somebody, which brings me to the connect call. And this is where we're going to bring in Cassie and Lauren. I don't know who's speaking first, but we've got Cassie and Lauren. They are killing it on Connect calls. Connect calls, I love them. As somebody who does them, listen, my close rate, if you want to get a new person to join your team, book a call with me. My close rate on getting them to start is nearly 100%. So is Lauren's. So is Lindy's. Your leaders are really great at this. Okay. But here's the thing. I'm good at it because I love it. Whatever you love is what you're going to be good at, right? And so pay attention to what these leaders are talking about calls and pick up on what do they think about these calls? Why do they love them so much? That's what you're trying to adapt your mindset to. Okay. Lauren and
It's me.
Hey, Cass.
I'm here. Yep. Okay, so I think I'm supposed to jumpstart this. So I just want to start with why is it important? I know Shanna kind of touched on it, why it's important for you to connect with your family, your friend, your person, your prospect, however you want to deem them. For me, I'm always going to name them a family or a friend or something that makes it kind of personal to me. But the reason why it's important to connect them to a leader is that a lot of things that you're afraid it's going to happen when you're talking to somebody, you're going to meet a bunch of objections, or you already have these preconceived ideas of this person's life, right? Because you really aren't, you don't know them. You're not walking in their shoes. You're only seeing what they allow you to see. And when you have a leader that has so much more experience than you do, they're able to handle those objections and get down to what the root problem is for that particular person, friend, family, prospect that you have, right? And then you don't have to worry about being on your own. So I've gotten this a lot as a leader where somebody texts me, hey, somebody said this, how do I respond to this? Well, if we were in a three-way message, it would make it so much simpler to actually just answer the person. And generally the question or the objection that they have is not really what they want to know, right? So it takes time to be in this industry to get to be able to have those conversations where they actually flow in a normal conversation quality, right? So that leads me to my first point is when we're talking about connecting to a leader. So it could be three-way messaging, okay? It could be a connect call. That's, one of the things that you have to figure out which route you want to go to, and it should be based on that person. Okay. So you need to know, do they utilize social media? Are they on Messenger? If you are, you setting somebody up in Messenger, but they don't get on Messenger or social media, but once a week, that's probably not a great place to connect people. If they never text message. So like my husband, he's never going to text message. That's not going to happen. So I wouldn't put him in a text message thread, right? So, and then also connect calls. So there are some people that never want to get on a phone call. Okay. Never want to get on a phone call. So asking for them to get on a phone call is automatically going to create this anxiety for them. And the answer is going to be no, not because they're not interested and not because they don't want to talk to your leader,
but it's because the activity makes them anxious. Okay. So, let's see, that went through that. Okay. So the other thing is when you start thinking about, okay, well, it's going to be uncomfortable. Like I should know all of this information. And if I don't know all this information, you know, my friend, my family, my person is not going to, you know, they're going to have an issue with it because they trust me. Okay. Well, yes, they do trust you. They trust you to show them something that they should be interested in, but they are not going to expect for you to be the expert. They are going to trust you to put you with someone that is going to help them, right? So if they asked you, hey, you know, I mean, maybe if they were talking to Lauren, they would expect this answer, but hey, I'm about to build this house. And I was wondering, do you know of any, you know, person that could help me, you know, come up with the best prices for flooring? Okay, well, you don't do flooring. So, but you know a lot of people. So you can connect them with somebody, and that makes sense. But in this industry, for some reason, we make it weird. We make it awkward. We make it sometimes icky to connect them with somebody. So the first thing you have to realize is you're just having a conversation. Okay. You are just giving them a connection to somebody that has that information. Okay. So to stay away from icky feelings. And when I say icky, I'm not saying uncomfortable, because a lot of things that we do in this industry, are uncomfortable because it's not familiar to us. But when I say icky, so if you read a script and it feels like something foreign, that it would be absolutely nothing that you would say, you need to tweak it a little bit to make it more you, so that the person, your family, your friend, knows it's you speaking to them and you are truly connecting them with someone that is going to help them. Okay. So with that, then when you're connecting them, you have to, I don't generally ask for permission. I tell them I'm going to do this. Okay. So like if I know, again, they probably need to be open to what you're talking about before you're like, hey, I'm going to connect you with, and I never say the word connect, but I'm like, I want you to meet my friend, Lauren. She is the reason why I have done so well in this industry. She is the reason why when I first started, all those scary feelings went away. And I want you to experience the same thing that I experienced. So I'm gonna get you with Lauren. I'm gonna put you in a 3-way messenger, or I'm gonna put you in a text message, or I want you to get on a phone call with my friend Lauren. Whatever it is that you're going to connect them with, you're telling them what you're doing, because the first thing is when you ask them a question, they have to make a decision. And already they're getting information that they didn't know before, and already having to make a decision already kind of puts you in a spot of not being the director or the connector, because that's really the role that you play. You are connecting them to someone else. So like even Lauren will have me do calls for her, or she will put me in 3-way messengers. But when she connects them, she's not going to say, I don't know a lot about the science of the products. Well, we know that's not true. You want to be factual with it, right? You don't want to be providing them a scripted information that's not true. So what Lauren usually says, because it's true, she's a very busy mom and she doesn't want to not provide the information to her person, her friend, her family, her prospect, with the information when they're asking about it. So that's kind of how she opens it up. Okay. So for me, again, I utilize the fact that without Lauren, without Lindy, without Shanna, without Amy, without anyone that, you know, whoever I'm utilizing for my leader, without them, I would not be where I'm at today. I would not have, whether it's learned more science information, whether it's that I needed, I need some help with, they're looking specifically for a business. Okay. So one of the, hold on, I have all these notes. I am, again, I'm doing a million things, so I'm busy today. Let's hold on.
Cass,
Okay.
why don't you just let me tell my perspective of what a group chat looks like real quick for a
Go ahead.
connect. So I want you guys to know that I too use this system, right? Like I use the three-way connection system, and Cassie does a lot of calls for me. Lindy and I both do a lot of calls together. So even me at this point, never take my calls by myself. I could, but I don't, because somebody else's story is the most important. Somebody else being the expert is the most important thing that I want to show a prospect. So once I get the I'm interested, tell me more, I immediately go to a three-way message, and I never ask for permission. This is something that I feel like brand new people feel like they have to ask for permission to, or hey, is it okay if I put you in a three-way message? No, I never ask, because I want them to know that the reason that I do it is because, number one, I want them to know that I'm supported, right? Just to give you guys a quick example, I did a three-way message the other day with Claudette, and the girl was kind of in the beginning like super defensive, and she was like, I just want Claudette to tell me the answer. And I said, listen, I know the answers and I'm going to give the answers, but the reason that I'm in here is because I want Claudette to always feel supported. I don't want her to be alone. I never want somebody to feel like they don't know the answer and that them by themselves. You're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. Okay. And so always being in a three-way message with an expert, just always default to the expert, even if you know the answer. And so when I introduce somebody on a three-way message, I say, hi, this is my friend, Cassie. She's a registered nurse of 25 years. She is incredible at this business. She is a product expert. She knows everything there is to know. She is going to answer all of your questions that you might have. And the reason that I've put you in this group is because I'm a busy mom. I'll just totally tell them like it is. I'm a busy mom, and sometimes I may not see your answer or your question, and Cassie will be on it in a heartbeat to follow up. And then she'll leave them an audio message. Audio messages are so important in group chats, because how many times have you read a text message the wrong way because you can't tell tone? But on an audio message, you can feel excitement, you can feel power, you can feel someone's story better. And so dropping in group chats and leaving them an audio message and being like, hey, I want to chat with you. When is a good time to chat? So basically what a three-way message does, or a group chat does, is lead up to a connect call. And it's weeding out the people who shouldn't be on a connect call in the beginning. Like, have you ever put someone on a connect call and you're like, oh my God, why am I talking to this person right now? Like, oh my God, this person's already in another company. They're not even interested. They weren't a qualified prospect. We just put them on the phone. That part takes that interested part to another level before you can get them on a connect. And just like Shanna said, they have 100% success rate right now. If you can get a prospect on a connect call and you can address their wants and their concerns and their needs and show them support and community. I can't tell you how many times at the end of a call, someone has said, I am so excited just about the support and the community that I'm going to get. And you're addressing that in a three-way message. Shanna, Cassie, we have had conversations where someone will say, I love that Lauren is so successful and has been so successful with this, and she still doesn't do this by herself. And that I'm going to have support, not just from her, but from you as well. So once we get in there, we take it to a connect call, we address the questions, and that is where we go for the close, and we go for the concern of, okay, so you're super fired up. Tell me how excited you are. Tell me what reservations you have. When are you ready to get started? And then you talk them through an action plan. All right, so when you get started, this is what we're going to do. Because if you can get off of a call, listen, this is really important. If you can get off of a call, giving them an action plan of what to do before they even join, they are 100% more on board because you've already told them what to do. You have made the decision for them in their head that they are going to do this based off of the next steps that you gave them. So that is what is important when you're on a connect call. But even on a connect call, getting someone to the point of being like, okay, tell me what your reservations are. You're just there to be the expert, to, you know how we talk about Like when someone is like, well, I don't have the time, well, I don't have the money. You know, we often talk about feel, felt, found, and how we're using that. If when you're addressing all of those things, and then I will just leave y'all with this. After the close, after we've done a 3-way chat or a group chat and we've done a connect call, it is on you as a leader to be the follow-up. Because if you leave it to your person who's brand new in there and they aren't confident and they are nervous and they are anxious about like, how many times do I check in with them? How many times do I ask them if I'm ready to get started? For you, it's less pressure. You take the icky out of them and you be the bold one. Lord favors the bold. I can tell you how many times right now from the beginning of 6 years ago that I can tell you my success is 1000% because I'm bold. I am bold about every aspect. Social media, closing calls. When are you ready to get started? Are you ready to do this? I'm ready to help you. So be sure that you are the one on a connect call. After the connect call is over, be sure you always put them in some sort of communication chat after a call, whether it be a group message or a group text message, so that you can be the one to follow up and say, hey, I've sent you the necessary information. What information do you need to help you make a decision that you can do this? Okay, what information do you need that can help you make a decision that you can do this and that you're going to be successful at this? You send them the necessary steps. Hey girl, I sent you all the information. Did you get a chance to look over it? Are you ready to go? Did that fill all the need for you? Are you confident now that you can do this? And let's get them signed up.
I love that.
Back to you.
I want to add, when you're trying to, everything that you do, Lauren, chime in on this. I want to hear if you're at an in-person, Amy and Chase, does every person end up in a call or a text with the leader? If somebody's on a Zoom, everybody ends up in a call or a text with the leader. Every person, do you hear everybody when you're talking system? If you have somebody on a Zoom and you sign them up yourself and you get them squared away, do you understand that until you've plugged them into somebody else to help support them, you're not fully in the system and you're not fully in residual income duplication yet? You can sell 30 people and you're not going to have the same business as somebody who sold to 30 people or enrolled 30 people and put them on a call with a leader and plugged them into a system. One of those is entirely different. I will also say, when Lauren's saying the leader should follow up, if I'm your leader, you may need to text me and remind me to follow up in that chat. I work full time. Yeah. Do not have time to scroll back and see who's not answering. That's on you. Just message, hey, Shanna, will you go ask so-and-so if she has any questions?
I appreciate
just message your leaders. Yeah.
Real quick, if you are a leader, following up with what you said, if you are a leader and you are hosting Zooms and you do an in-person Zoom for somebody, be sure that you say at the end of your Zoom, thank you so much, Cassie, for having all of your friends and family come on and take a look at this opportunity tonight. Cassie is going to put you in a group message with me. That way you've already established and that person doesn't have to feel icky or ask for permission. You say, Cassie's going to put us all in a group message at the end. That way I can directly answer any questions that you might have.
Okay. Cassie, I know we kind of switched. Was there something else that you wanted to chime in or add to what Lauren was saying?
Nope, she covered it.
Okay, awesome. Okay, y'all, here's where we are next. Let's talk about, we're going to hang out. Amy, I'm kicking it to you. You're going to workshop here for a second. We got a little, y'all, it's action time, right? We're not going to let you walk away from this desk without putting into action. Amy?
Okay, guys. So, I'm going to give y'all, okay, I wanted to make sure I was muted. I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes here. And here's what we want you to do is have some sort of way you're going into action. So which of these is really speaking to you? What makes sense for you in the next 2 weeks? Are you doing a in-person event at your house, inviting some family and friends, having a gathering? Are you doing a hybrid where you're having somebody come on Zoom? Are you doing a video? Are you going to be doing a Zoom? So obviously we're going to have some ways to plug in. I don't want you to worry right now about who you're inviting to this. I don't want you to worry about all the other things. I just want you to figure out which of these are you doing, and have a date in your calendar in the next 2 weeks that you are getting this done. And if you're having any sort of kickback in your mind, like feel free to put a question in the chat. You can even message me privately. We don't even have to talk about, oh, well, this person had this kickback. Let me know what it is and I'll address it to the group, because you're probably not the only one that your brain is giving you drama about, oh, I have to do some event or I'm doing something. So write down whatever that is. You can private message me and I will address that. But I want to give you guys about 3 minutes. Just go look at your calendar, figure out what you're doing. All right, so hopefully you found a date and time. Share that with your leader. Figure out if you are asking them to come, if you want to do this yourself. Like, I think this is going to be the year where we are really feeling confident about presenting about 3, even by ourselves, or having a friend, another brand ambassador, maybe getting customers, right? Like we talked about. And at this time, I think I'm turning it over to Shanna, and she is going to put a beautiful cherry on top and big bow. So take it away.
There we go. Okay. So you have action, you have the foundation laid, you have everything that you need to remember that you have everything you need to build this business. Raise your hand if you're feeling more confident. Drop in the chat if you're feeling more confident. Drop in the chat if you already conquered, you already took more ground, you already remembered where your power is, you already just were reminded of a ton of assets. Like, you've taken inventory and you have assets, friend. You have lots of resources, lots of assets. You have what it takes to reach the goals that you want to take. So I want to circle back to we've talked about this before. What are we doing? Okay. Regardless of your goals, this is what we're all doing. You're doing a 100 ask challenge. Okay. So it's called Project 100. Corporate has, if you were on the Tuesday training, Amy Dunlap rolled this out last week. Here's what I can tell you. You will, if you're in training, you will ask 100 people to look in your business, whether it's over the course of 5 years or 10 years or 6 months or 1 week. Do you hear, can you agree? Yes. You understand, to read, no matter what, you're going to ask 100 people. Okay. It really comes down to your goals and the time frame. And the more you condense that, the more value it will have in making you reach your goals more quickly, right? 100 asks over 5 years looks entirely different than 100 asks over a month. Okay. And when we say 100 ask challenge, if that gives you head drama, you can also call it a 30 and 30. So that instead of tracking the asks, you're tracking the number of people who actually looked. And listen, your leaders are putting together a document. All this is going to be in one place, clickable links, templates, all of that. Okay. So just hang tight. You're going to have all that compiled, but you literally you could track, there's going to be a 30 and 30 tracker. Instead of tracking asks, you're only writing down the people's names who got a full, rich presentation in person, Zoom, or video with a call, right? Understand that's a full, they were connected. That's a full look. If somebody watched a video, but you didn't put them in a group chat or a call, that doesn't count. That in my book, it doesn't count. That's not a full look. Okay. So you're going to want to figure out what that looks like for you. Now, I want to encourage you, raise your hand if you would like to be on the next trip in Mexico in the fall, earning that trip with your +1, hanging out the Hard Rock Resort. Like, we're there. You want to be there. I want to show you how, if you were brand new today with no residuals, you don't have a single person on your team, how you can earn that trip. Do y'all want to see that? Okay. I'm going to share my screen. Here we go. Okay. Y'all with me? We can see it? Y'all, this says cruise because I used an old set of slides. My bad. Replace cruise with you're on the beach in Mexico. Okay. Okay. It's easier than you think. Step 1, you're going to make a list of the 100 people you know and like that you are going to reach out to. Okay. Just like Kim did 500 or 600, you're only doing 100. It's only 100 people on your list, right? And you're reaching out to them. You're asking if they're open and you're inviting them to something. Sounds pretty simple and easy, right? do you feel equipped? Do you feel like this little slide you are totally equipped to do? I can't see everybody's faces, but I'm hoping it's an absolute yes, yes, and yes. Okay. So in month 1, here's what I want to tell you. I want you to say, what if I asked 100 people in the first month? What if in the next 4 weeks, I asked 100 people? Now, I'm going to tell you right now what the time commitment is. We actually had Autumn measure it. She invited 100 people to an event. She did it all by voice texts, and it took her between 5 and 6 hours. No, sorry, 4 to 5 hours. So you can estimate if you were doing voice messages to people, probably some of these you're going to do real calls, some are text messages, but can you allocate an hour a week and invite 20 to 25 people? And the answer is yes. Okay. So if your head gives you drama, the fact that one person can do it in that time frame means you can too. You're going to ask 100 people to look, 30 are going to look. You're going to get your mind right for the 70 who are going to ghost you. Like Chase said, if they're anything other than yes, they're a no, and that is fine. Who else do you know? Okay. And then let's say out of those 30, 10 are going to get started as a customer, a preferred customer, or a brand ambassador. So out of those 100 people that you asked to look, you should expect 10 orders to come through. Okay. And let's say those orders average 100 points. Let me tell you, you may have somebody sign up on a pro pack. That's a lot more points. You may have somebody sign up as a builder pack. That's a lot more points. Okay. So let's just say for average, it's 100 points per person. Boom. Month 1, you have 1,000 points clocked towards your trip. Month 2, you did your 100. I'm not asking you to do that again. I am asking you to go to out of your 10 who joined last month. Are there 2 who want to go on vacation with you? Are there 2 who want to lay the foundation for their business? Are there 2 who are hungry? They have a work ethic. They have integrity. They are ready, right? You just have to find 2. And in your second month, your job is to help them do what you just did. Now I want you, well, we'll come back to that. Well, I'm going to say it here. Key number 1, you have to do it first. It is really hard to ask people to do something that you haven't done. So is there a lot of value in you doing your 100 ask to completion as quickly as possible? Because the power, can you speak life into somebody and say, listen, I know it's hard. I know what you're going to think. I know what you're going to come against. I'm going to do it right there with you. I literally just did it last month. I can totally support you on this. Think about how much more present you are as a leader with those 2 people. So out of those 2 people, they do the same. They have 60 take a look. That means 20 people are getting started, 20 new orders. So you've got 2,000 points this month, 1,000 from last month, plus you've got auto ships from last month. So now you're at 3,600 points. Okay. Month 3. Okay. You're starting to see how things compound. You help 4 people because now you have a lot more team members. So do you hear what I'm saying? You have, let's see, last month we have 30, you've got 30 people on auto ship. You're just looking for 4 who want to do 100 ask challenge. And if they're doing 100 ask challenge, 120 people take a look. You've got 40 getting started, 40 new orders at 100 points. You're adding 4,000 points plus your points from last month, plus your auto ships that are going through. You are halfway qualified for a trip for 2. Okay. Month 4. You help 4 team members again. So mind you, your team is growing, but you're just focusing on, and this, this doesn't have to be personally sponsored, right? This can be within people in your team and working depth and helping them, right? So you've got, same thing that you did on month 3. You've got 4 people on your team doing 100 ask challenge. I will say one little caveat. If you're Amy and you have a rock star like Chase, they can't all come from Chase. You will be capped, right? Amy knows this. So I'm making sure y'all know this too. You've got to have some different legs. This is also why it's really great for you to plant your 100 seeds as quickly as possible. Okay. So now this month you've got 4,000 in new orders, 9,400 at the end of the month, 70 auto ships going through, and you're at 17,000 points. Month 5, we do it again. Same thing. 4 people from your downline are doing 100 ask challenge, and you've got those same results. You're at 27,000 points. Boom, you have a trip. Okay. So I've got this slide here because I want us to flush out as a team, hop in the chat. What are some of the keys? What are some of the keys that you see about this? Number one, I said, you have to go first. You doing it as quickly as possible has value. It makes it easier. See what else y'all are catching. Yep. Do it first ASAP. Okay. What else? What else do you see? I see that people need to get on auto ship. First time orders. Did you see that? We compounded auto ships. You've got to sign them up for auto ship in the very beginning. And if you're not comfortable having those conversations, no problem. Put them in a 3-way chat or a call with some leader. They've got no problem explaining to them the value of auto ship. If you're scared to talk about it, no problem. Somebody else will do it for you. Okay. What else is there? I think a lot of times we get in our heads that we're like, I have to keep recruiting. I have to do. What if you focus on your 100 and then you're like, boom, I'm just looking for people within my team. So you're that first month, just two. Next month, 30 days from now, you're going to decide, okay, I'm looking for 2 people in my downline who want to do a 100 ask challenge. So that would mean this month you're kind of paying attention. Who's on fire? Who wants this? Who's joining? Who says they have quick goals? When somebody says, I want to be making $5,000 a month in 6 months, and you think, well, I'm not making $5,000 a month. I don't know how to do that. Is that true? No. You say, I know exactly what you need to do. Let's get you plugged in. You need to do a 100 ask challenge. You're going to lay a solid foundation. And you're probably going to earn a trip, right? Help others, work, rinse, repeat. Yep. Smart ship. If you're not on smart ship, you're missing a lot of those points. Yep. Full looks, because people need a full look in order to actually, people are not going to sign up for a 100 ask challenge if they haven't even caught a vision of what's possible here. This is good. Okay. That's what I wanted to share. I wanted you to flesh out those pieces. I wanted you to be able to say, okay, I know exactly what I need to do to make this happen. Okay. That's it. Y'all, we're ahead of schedule. We have transferred so much to you today in a short period of time. I know that this recording is going to be absolute gold. You have everything you need to succeed. So from here, what do? Go back to the very beginning. Okay. Do you need to adjust your goals to include the 100 ask challenge? Do you need to write down when you have your list completed? Do you need to write down when you're making the invites? Do you right now, like, figure it out, work out, put the systems in place? All of this needs to happen right now, because you can get up and walk away and then your brain's going to say, I need to go back and revisit my notes. I need to do this. And listen, that feels like working your business. It is not the same. It is not the same. It will chew up your energy, and 3 months will go by of you being like, I need to work my business. You will feel overwhelmed, exhausted, and spent. And if you went back and looked at how many income producing conversations you had, they're going to be very small. Okay. And I don't want that for you. I want you to have the empowerment and the certainty and the confidence that was transferred to you today. So if you know what your quicksand is, if you know what's going to get into your head, you do. Message to your leader right now. Hey, I want this. Here's where the doubts are. Here's where my fears are. I don't have any doubts right now, Chase, but here's maybe what I'm going to run into. I'm going to literally be exhausted, and this is where you can help me, Amy. Right? Like, no, go ahead and solve for that right now. Yeah. What else? Y'all want to, we'll end up dropping everything. Last but not least, I want to do a huge thank you to all of the speakers today. All of you, they prepared. We had separate meetings. They put a lot of attention. They were intentional about making sure they did it really quickly. That is the harder thing to do, friends. So thank you to all of the speakers. A special thank you to Amy Lafitte. This was her brainchild, her passion. She's the one that kept it moving and kept everybody, kept it top of mind, and really packaged this for you in an amazing way. And we are lucky to have somebody with nearly 20 years of experience and amazing trainings that she's willing to transfer that knowledge to make your business stronger. Like, I don't remember who said it. If you don't feel like you're good at it, it's a skill. It was probably her. If you don't feel like you're good at, it's a skill you can learn, and just remind yourself, I'm learning. So if you want to hop off. I want to open up. Lindy, can we kick this to you for Q&A? I know that you probably grabbed a lot of I think you were.
Shanna, can I add something real quick?
Of course.
So Mindy, other than the obvious issue of knowing in your brain how to, handle that, like Shanna said, with mindset, I know everybody is so tired of this answer, but recruiting really is the answer. Sponsoring is the answer, because sometimes when you feel defeated and you have mindset issues, the issue is to go find an excitement in a new person. You have to find the excitement in a new person. And if you know the statistics of what Shanna talked about in the very beginning of this, with knowing the amount of people who are going to say yes, the amount of people who are going to work, or actually Amy talked about with Kim, and knowing the percentage of people that you can bring in. I don't care if you bring in 10 people and they do nothing. We can't make people work. We can't make people take action. So, but you can take action. You can work on your mindset and you can go sponsor people. And then when you find a brand new person who's excited, you will catch that excitement, and then you will continuously be on that hamster wheel of excitement. When you have someone who is not ready to run, you have to be, I've talked about this before too, you have to be proactive with the people that want to run and reactive to those that don't. So constantly being proactive, finding new people, and knowing that constantly you can look at the John Meltons of the world, you can look at the Jesse Lees and the people who've been in this industry for a very long time. It's a constant up and down and up and down, when you're on a recruiting high, when you're on a recruiting low, when you're on a recruiting high, when you're on a recruiting low.
This was fabulous. Thank you, everybody. Okay, let's do it. Have a great weekend.
Guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys.